the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am Andy Ruther coming to you live from the Smut Shack in Venice Beach, California, with my co-host, Joey No Chill Frano.
I feel like it's the Euro Shack with my co-host, Nick Papagiorgio over here.
I knew you were going to say something. It's the V-neck, and I'm not wearing a shirt under it.
I know. So this is your look now. Now that we're going video podcast, you're going shirtless under your V-neck sweater.
Well, you made fun of me before we started the show. Now, look, dude, I didn't know you're supposed to wear a shirt underneath this. First of all,
you're not supposed to, but usually if you don't, you rock a gold cross.
So you're telling me I'm showing too much? There's too much of my chest hair going on here?
I'm not saying you're showing too much. Like, obviously you can wear V-neck T-shirts, but like you know, the under the sweater, that's just this is a very like Greek shipping mogul look, or like Persian guy.
Can you zoom in on this, Trevor? Let me hop in the camera. Let me show you guys what I'm rocking.
I like
here.
that you make him zoom in, but you also stand up and lean toward it.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Okay,
you're like, would you like riding BMW?
Here's where I'm confused. Why would I wear?
Isn't that itchy? You're wearing just a sweater to skin?
It feels great. Is that why you're supposed to wear the V-neck? Is that I'm not itching? Because it feels great. I love this sweater. And you know what? Let's just get it out of the way.
You know, a lot of people they'll do is they'll wear like a button-down shirt under the V-neck, even sometimes the tie, or just a T-shirt. Casual look is sort of the T-shirt under the V-neck, and Greek or Persian look is nothing under the V-neck.
So if I went to, LA has a lot of Persians. A lot of are we going to toss Armenians in that same category?
Sure.
So if I went,
I only found out recently that those were different sects.
So if I went to Glendale, which is basically Little Armenia,
yeah,
they'd be like, "Oh, he's one of us."
Yeah, okay. I mean, you're a pretty white Armenian, but yeah,
I got the hair. I got the hair.
Yeah, I think they'd let you slide in.
I got called out the other day at Maddie's Super Bowl party about all my chest hair. I got called out in the hot tub. I think B Indigo called it. He said he called it meat or something.
Meat.
So what's all that meat on your chest?
Is he not to the anymore? Do you just go B Indigo? Have you just shortened his nickname?
Apparently, if you listen to Dent Report,
is that what he said?
It's been said wrong the whole time.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I just call him Barry, which I know he doesn't like, but I like it.
Well, Joe, I might as well get this out of the way. I got this excellent sweater and the jeans that I'm wearing all at Flag and Anthem.
Tell me about it. These corduroys, Flag and Anthem. And the T-shirt I'm wearing underneath this sweatshirt. Talk about chest hair.
Yeah, you're Italian. You got a lot of chest hair. Wait a second. Those corduroys from Flag and Anthem, are those the...
They're ox blood. That's the color.
Do we keep getting the same stuff? I just put in a great order.
I mean...
I
send you all my links, so you know what I get.
I didn't steal your stuff, but I have some great corduroys. I think it's the same ones coming from Flag and Anthem. You guys can take advantage of that great offer that we have. Might as well just say this right now.
You're going to have these same pants. I have that same sweater, so we can go out matching, except for the fact that I'll be wearing a shirt like a human.
Okay. So just go to flagandanthem.com, drop that promo code DIRTYSPORTS at checkout. You get 25% off your first order. Again, that's flagandanthem.com. Promo code Dirty Sports, all one word, at checkout to get 25% off. And you can look just like me, Jimmy the Greek, apparently.
Yeah.
That's what I'm rocking.
The Jimmy the Greek part because you're racist.
Was he a racist?
Yeah. Didn't Jimmy the Greek get fired?
Stop saying I'm a racist. You spread these rumors.
I got to say, I listened to the last half hour of the Dent Report today. You were like begging to say the N-word.
I was not begging to say the N-word.
You're like, I don't understand why I can't say it.
No. Again, by the way, B Indigo stood up for me to his boys. He was laughing. He goes, see what I'm saying with this Prano guy? He just exaggerates shit. He makes Andy look so bad. He just exaggerates shit.
I don't know what that means.
I know exactly what it means, Prano. Anyway, the Super Bowl hangover, so to speak. We're a few days past it.
Can I get into something really quick? I don't want to get sidetracked on it because we talked about it last episode and you've been putting out videos of it. I don't want to talk about Brady's GOAT status.
But you will.
But no, I want to make one thing very clear right now. Any sort of argument that anybody's having about that, I hope to God that everybody, whether you're arguing in favor of it or against it, we're talking about quarterbacks, right? No one actually thinks Tom Brady's the GOAT football player of all time, right? Please tell me there's not people that are in that camp.
I don't know.
Please tell me that's not a thing.
I'll tell you what, though. It's tough that you bring that up because it's going to take every ounce of me not to get into that again because I still think you're trolling everybody.
I'm not. But we went over, first of all, well, let me get my first point out of the way. Jerry Rice is the only reason that you, me, ESPN, Fox Sports, anybody's even saying the term GOAT. Because John Gruden said Jerry Rice is the GOAT, and Jerry Rice is the GOAT. Jerry Rice's statistics dwarf every single person's ever.
Yeah.
He has the most touchdowns, he has the most yards, he has the most all-purpose yards, and it's not even close.
It's not even close.
He has so many more touchdowns than the second guy. I'm not talking about receiving touchdowns. I'm talking about all touchdowns. I'm talking about yards. Tom Brady's not the quarterback leader in yards and touchdowns, let alone the all-time leader. The GOAT, there is only the GOAT. And then, if we're talking about quarterbacks, that's one thing. But do not ever.
It's funny that you brought up Jerry Rice as the greatest player of all time because all those yards that he did, and he was so good. Who did that help out?
Who did that help out? That helped out the 49ers. That helped out
in particular,
Joe Montana.
Okay.
Yeah, but
just saying. Just saying.
Hold on.
I'm just saying. Joe Montana minus his Chiefs days literally had the best receiver of all time.
Yeah,
and he got to throw the ball.
I think everybody.
Tom Brady had 2 good seasons with Randy Moss.
Right, and probably the most talented receiver of all time. I'm
just saying.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Tom Brady had the most talented receiver of all time for a season. In fact, they set seasonal records together.
Yeah, they were.
And then
they were
lost.
phenomenal.
And then they lost the Super Bowl. But Tom Brady never has help in receivers. So, it's too bad Tom Brady's never had a good receiver.
Well, Joe, you just said what I just said. I said he did have Randy Moss for 2 seasons,
and they lost that Super Bowl.
He's played 16 seasons.
Yeah. So, but Tom Brady, the difference between Tom Brady and Joe Montana is Tom Brady.
I'm just going to end it right now because I don't want to get into it again.
Okay.
You just have this issue. This is what it comes down to. You have some weird issue against Brady.
No, I don't.
I don't know what it is.
I've said 2 things, and I'll say it again, and you tell me which one I'm wrong about. If I had one drive, even one game to win, I'm taking Montana over Brady. How am I wrong? How is that incorrect? Joe Montana had 128 passer rating across 4 Super Bowls. He threw for 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He had less turnovers in 4 perfectly played Super Bowls than Tom Brady had on the last drive of his last Super Bowl.
But you're saying the problem with you is, and I said this, God, I can't do this. I just can't.
Tell me, am I right or wrong in doing that?
Because I'm not mad at that answer.
Okay.
This is what I'll say.
So then you're not mad at that. So fine, let that be.
I'm not mad at the Montana final drive thing.
Okay.
Just like
or a game.
Just like I wouldn't be mad at the Brady thing. But my problem is you can't sit there and use this argument. You can't sit there and say Tom Brady is 5-3 in Super Bowls. Montana's 4-0. Montana never had a turnover. And then on the opposite end say, well, Michael Jordan's not
absolutely can. And you know why? And you know why?
Let me finish.
Yeah, but you're doing. We've already covered this.
I know. That's the point.
You can't. If you're not going to listen to when I answered the first time, LeBron James has had finals he lost where he put up better statistics than Michael Jordan in finals he won.
And Tom Brady.
Joe Montana played 4 perfect Super Bowls. 128 passer rating across 4 Super Bowls. He averaged 285 yards in 4 games. He had 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He was the Super Bowl MVP 3 times, I think, and Rice had it once. And there was no comeback except against your Bengals, who were 14-2 with the league MVP that year, because
12-4, but close.
He blew out every other team. Tom Brady has never won a Super Bowl by more than 4 points. Joe Montana blew teams out. played perfectly.
They also were. Again, this is the same stupid argument.
Okay,
and,
and by the way, the 3 losses that Tom Brady had, they were favorites in all those games.
Yeah, I know they were. But again, you're discrediting the Jordan thing, which is perfect analogy.
No, I'm not. Statistically, LeBron James...
Just like statistically, Tom Brady set the record for the most passing yards.
But most passing yards is like the equivalent of saying most points. That's not... Statistically, LeBron James is the greatest player to ever play the game, correct? Yes or no? Statistically, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player to ever play the game, yes or no? It's a really easy answer. If you want me to tell you why, I can do it very quickly. He's the only person with 30,000, 7,000, and 7,000. He was a great defensive player. He's all around the greatest statistical basketball player that ever played the game. And he has 3 championships.
I'm not anti-LeBron.
Okay,
you know that.
Great.
I'm trying to...
The difference is Brady isn't the statistic best quarterback. So don't bring LeBron James into the conversation. If statistically Tom Brady was the best quarterback of all time, then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
It's fine. If you don't see what I'm saying and how you've used that same argument, if you don't see that correlation, then I'm just going to move on. It is what it is, dude.
It
is what it is. It's fine. I don't care.
You're not... Because you're saying something, but you're not listening to what my response is. LeBron James is statistically the best basketball player of all times and has 3 championships. That's what makes him the GOAT. Whatever happened in his other finals, it doesn't matter. He's statistically the best basketball player of all time, and he has 3 championships, and he's gone to 8 finals.
And statistically, Tom Brady
is not the greatest quarterback of all time. Look at the list.
Who has more passing yards in the playoffs? Who has more Super Bowl appearances? Who has more Super Bowl rings? Statistically, Tom Brady does. Those are all things he has.
We have an intern. Do you want to look up who has the most passing yards ever? You want to look up who has the most passing touchdowns ever?
In the playoffs? I'm talking playoffs.
But now you're talking about
playoffs.
Now you're talking about 2 completely different things, right? Now we're talking about the Patriots get to the playoffs every fucking year. The Patriots.
It's fine, Joe. You just you hate Brady. I don't know why.
I don't hate Brady.
You have this.
I just said if I had one game, I'd take Montana. You're telling me no? You're telling me if you had to fly across the country in a rickety airplane, you're gonna choose the pilot that crashed 3 times versus the pilot who's made it 4 times without turbulence?
I would love Tom Brady to fly my plane to Cincinnati, Ohio. I'll tell you that much. And
also, here's the thing: anybody who wants can argue Tom Brady's the GOAT. There's plenty of things to argue there. If I have one game to win, I'm not taking Brady. I think there's people who see that argument. If I had to start a franchise, I'm not taking Brady. My GOAT has to be one of those guys. If you're not one of those guys, then you're not my guy. If I had one shot to win the NBA championship, it's not LeBron James.
Well, we just might find out. I know how much you put in Belichick, and I am a huge Belichick guy too. We just might find out how TB can be without him, because I think Josh McDaniels is going to be their next head coach.
Sure,
in 2018.
but also let's.
Do we think that's going to happen though?
Next year, next season?
Yes,
I don't think that he's going to do
Why?
that.
Because I think, why would Josh McDaniels turn down...
Because Robert Kraft is petty as fuck and probably offered him more money to be the offensive coordinator and coach in waiting than he was going to get in Indianapolis, because, I don't know, an Indianapolis player intercepted a ball and realized it was deflated. And so now there's all kinds of hatred toward the Colts. There's hatred toward the Colts because they're like, this feels weird.
You think that's it? But you think I'm confused by the situation that he would turn down a head. We're talking about, I mean, it's not like the Colts are a dumpster fire. It's not like the Browns, is what I'm saying. It's not like the Colts have this history or pedigree of just a shit team.
But if you know that you're the coach in waiting and they promise you X amount of years, but why then wouldn't Belichick already be gone? What's he waiting for?
I don't know. Obviously this came out post Super Bowl. There's just a lot of shit came out. The Malcolm Butler stuff. I mean, what do we make of this? Did he do something bad? Did he not?
He swears he didn't.
I read into it. And they say it's the same. They claim, at least the Patriots camp claims, it's the same tactic that Belichick used with Thurman Thomas when he coached the Giants, which was, who was one of your linebackers? Was it Banks?
Okay. I don't know what you're referring to.
So have you heard of this story?
No.
So, and this is true, and I think they talked about the 30 for 30. They might have, or maybe
they talked about how they let Thurman Thomas just get yards.
Yeah.
But what does that have to do with Malcolm Butler?
Because they're saying that, as crazy as it sounds, when Belichick went over the game plan with his defense when he was coach of the Giants, when he was the Giants' defensive coordinator, and he told the guys, we want Thurman Thomas to get 100-plus yards.
Right.
And they had a good D, and they're like, no, that's our thing. We don't let guys get 100 yards. And he goes, no, it's going to help the game plan because we think Jim Kelly can do more damage to us than Thurman Thomas. They're claiming, from what I read, I know it sounds crazy, I'm not saying this is accurate, that it was that same tactic was that Belichick felt the run game of the Eagles could do more damage, so they put in guys that were bigger than Butler to help stop the run.
But
there's a huge article on
that. You know why that's a terrible...
Again, I'm not saying I agree.
Okay, but you know why that's a terrible thing to even claim in retrospectively? Because you were getting your fucking shit pushed in at the half, and they were passing all over you. So if you're the great Bill Belichick, make a fucking adjustment.
Well, it talks about
and
that.
Go. Well, now we have to stop the pass.
If you look it up, it's on USA Today. It's a long article. They really break it down.
They were and not to go back to the other argument. I know everybody wants to slurp Tom Brady for 505 passing yards. They were chasing them the whole game. So this idea that they we want them to pass the ball more. How many touchdowns do you have to be down for you to give up on this idea?
I don't know.
At what point do you want them to start running the ball?
I mean, to me, that was the first time that I saw a coaching deficiency in Bill Belichick.
I don't know.
I don't know what he was doing. That's my answer. I don't know.
I think Bill Belichick, with the story that came out on ESPN and all the talk of Brady and Belichick and all this and who's more important and all that, I think he thought he got too smart. He outsmarted himself and he started going you know what? I think this guy, I think we can do it without him. And I think he tried to prove something in whether it be Butler didn't have a great week of practice or Butler didn't whatever. And it didn't work out because at some point you have to stick your tail between your legs and go, whatever the reason, disciplinary or he didn't have a good week of practice or blah, 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 and we're getting lit up by a backup quarterback, I have to put him in.
Yeah.
You can't be so fucking, whatever.
No, I agree.
We'll just win in spite of not having our best corner.
I agree. I don't know why.
And maybe he's not their best corner, but he certainly has Super Bowl experience. He certainly has a play that saved them. It saved Tom Brady from being 4-4 in the Super Bowl. So I don't know how you don't have that guy in there. I just don't know how you don't have him in.
And I know it sounds crazy, but that makes me think. I think some shit might come out, whether he retires or goes and leaves, or I don't know, whether he just remains a GM. I have this feeling, this fucking Ruther feeling.
I think
Josh McDaniels is going to be the head coach next year.
I think he's going to be. I think they're going to have a year of. It's going to be like the handoff year. It's going to be the year. I mean, you watch the two Bills,
and that's
where
why
he's like an assistant head coach.
That's why it's so crazy after watching that documentary.
Yeah.
It seems like the Patriots are following exactly.
If Bill Belichick makes the decision not to play Malcolm Butler, loses that game to the fucking Philadelphia Eagles and Nick Foles of all fucking teams and people, and then just steps away from football, come on, dude. Steps away from being a head coach, that's the way you're going to go out? That's a bad one.
What if he's forced out?
Why would he be forced out?
I don't know, dude. I just feel like there's things that have been going on within the Patriots organization. Obviously, there's been
Josh McDaniel was a head coach.
Yeah, no, the Broncos.
He went in on Tim Tebow.
He didn't have the best options.
Is Robert Kraft? Well, he drafted him first of all. Is Robert Kraft sitting there going I want McDaniel, Belichick, you're out. McDaniel, you're in. I mean, unless Robert Kraft's walking in at halftime and putting Malcolm Butler in the game and Bill Belichick's going, fuck you, I can't imagine he's going, yeah, give me McDaniel.
He's also been very successful. Josh McDaniels as...
Yes, so was Romeo Crennel. So was fucking every other offense, so was Charlie Weiss. So there were a lot of assistants under Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
I put up a poll on Twitter on Super Bowl Sunday. You saw that? Nick Foles starts in 2018 versus Matt Patricia wins in Detroit. It finished 50-50.
Yeah, but when are we going to trust what the hell people say on Twitter?
I know, but I'm just saying it's 50-50. 50-50. People couldn't decide, is Matt Patricia going to win, 15 games in his Detroit career?
Is it chilly in here, or am I just not wearing an undershirt? Is it chilly in here?
You want me to close this a little?
You mind closing that a little? I don't know.
Is your screen gone, bro?
Yeah, that's a whole story.
You're bringing in camera lights, and you're getting rid of your screen? You're trying to get bugs in here?
Yeah, I noticed a few bugs flying around. Well,
yeah, that's how they work.
Here's the story on the screen real quick. I don't know if you can zoom the camera over there, Trevor. You maybe zoom it over to where there's no screen. I got really stoned last Thursday, and I pulled the screen out to wash it at like midnight.
It fell apart.
Yeah, because I was high, and I did a terrible job. I yanked out the window to clean it. Look how smeared it is. And I was all stoned, and I woke up the next day, and the screen was in multiple, basically bent in half, and I was like, oh, shit, what did I do? So I'm waiting, and I got the manager at fucking Savage Town she's a witch. She's literally a witch. So I'm waiting till the weekend manager is here, and I'll be like, oh, my screen broke, and somehow make up some things so they can replace it. Because I don't want to deal with Karen. Karen is the devil. Feel free to call Windward Village and ask for Karen. She is a witch. So, yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
Anyway, Joe, we've been putting off the Aaron Hernandez Savage of the Year award.
Yeah. We've been putting it off, but I feel like we've also just known the answer for a while.
Well, maybe. A quick update. Last year's Aaron Hernandez Savage of the Year award was given to Pac-Man Jones, who at this point could be given the...
Also, for you new listeners, the Aaron Hernandez Savage of the Year award is basically our answer to the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. It's given in honor of homicidal maniac Aaron Hernandez.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Just one of the many great receivers Tom Brady's had over the years. And we give out the award to players who in the NFL who have shown true savagery during the course of the year.
And you know what? The NFL is I would say, a great place of savagery with all the sports. Would you, again, I don't know MMA, I don't know boxing really, but I'm saying of the major sports, I feel like the savagery that happens.
Yeah, I think they lead the league in arrests every year.
So
lead the leagues, I should say.
I was doing some research today. There's this, you know what I love is that there's so many arrests in the NFL. If you go to usatoday.com/sports/NFL/NFL/arrest, they literally update it. They have a database, USA Today, of all the NFL player arrests. So kudos to whoever made this, because it really helps picking out the award easy. And it's not, you don't always have to just get arrested. I mean, usually if you're doing something savage, it does involve breaking the law. But, you know, like Joe said, this is our response to the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Anybody can raise $36 million like J.J. Watt to give to people in a hurricane. Anybody can do that. But not anybody can do some of the things that these guys did. And I narrowed it down to just 2 finalists.
Yeah, I know. Usually we have 3 finalists. This year we had 2. It's a standout year.
These 2 stood out as the most savage guys. First up, we have Dante Fowler. Plays for the Jags. You know, he was a top 3 draft pick. Came on late, but this year, even though he's not starting, he had 8 sacks. He had a really good year. Part of that, our favorite team, the Jags, had a great defense this year. But let's not forget how the year started for Dante Fowler. Back in July, Dante Fowler was arrested. And we talked about this on the show, but let's remind everybody what he did in St. Petersburg, Florida. According to the report, a man allegedly criticized Fowler's driving, leading to an argument, which then Fowler responded by hitting the other man, then stepping on his glasses, and then there was another guy involved. He took that other guy's groceries and then threw them into a lake, and those groceries included liquor. That is some savage shit.
They were like, "Sir, you blew that stop sign." He got out, smacked a guy, stepped on his glasses. Some other guy's like, "Hey, you hit that guy." He grabs his groceries, throws them in a lake.
Yeah. He didn't throw the kale in the lake. He threw the liquor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a savagery. He didn't steal the liquor for himself. So, I mean, to me, that's one of those savage things that I was looking for a word. That was
Things is what you came up with.
Yeah.
Pause. Usually people pause and they come up with some shit. Things.
I was looking for something else to say, but it was one of those funny things that made it savage.
Yeah.
That's basically what I was trying to say. So we have Dante Fowler and the other guy we recently just talked about it because you talk about a late push.
Yeah.
Robbie.
Well, he knows. It's like how Hollywood puts out all the big awards movies in like November, December.
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson, Jets receiver.
Look at this mugshot.
Yeah.
January 19th.
If you were a rapper, he'd be Lil Arrested.
So Robbie Anderson, here's a quick reminder of what he did, guys. He was arrested. Well, first, this is how it went down. The cops started chasing him. He was going 105 in a 45 mile per hour zone.
That's going to be some points on the license.
Yeah, that's not going to help your insurance rate, bro. So he was arrested going that fast in a 45 mile per hour zone. Then he led a massive chase all over the roadway. He failed to maintain a single lane, so he's doing some fucking Fast and Furious shit.
Yeah.
Weaving in and out in South Florida. And when the cops eventually
Were they drunk driving in Fast and Furious? Just weaving in different lanes?
But I don't think he was drunk. That's the thing.
Okay.
That's the amazing thing about all this. Then when he was arrested,
This is where it gets fantastic.
This is where he's earning that Aaron Hernandez Savage of the Year award. He told the police officer that he was going to nut in his wife's eye.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. I spoke too soon. Let's just read the direct quote from the officer. He was going to find my wife, fuck her, and nut in her eye.
Yeah.
That's some savage shit. But not only did he say that, he also continued with other verbal threats towards my family, said the officer. Based on his statements, it was clear he intended to sexually assault my wife. He also, I love this part, he also began to brag about how much money he has and how all I was doing was trying to do is ruin his fun. So all I was trying to do was I can't even fucking say it.
Jeez, what is happening?
Can't even say it. But I discovered something else today.
Oh, boy, really?
By going to this database. Not only did Robbie Anderson commit those savage acts, he was also arrested on May 7th this year. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. He was also arrested on May 7th.
This is like when they're showing the Heisman candidates, and they're like, he also had 10 rushing touchdowns.
He was arrested on May 7th. He was accused of fighting police and the security at a music festival in Miami.
Wow. Well, unless Dante Fowler was arrested a second time and took a child and hung them by their shirt on a hook, like some sort of bully. He's already stepped on glasses. Unless he took the childhood bullying thing one step further. I got to give my vote to Robbie Anderson, who's talking about nutting in the eye of police officers' wives.
Yeah, I'm going to give my vote to Robbie Anderson, too. As much as I love Dante Fowler, the mental image...
Lil Savage. That's probably already a rapper, right? Right,
Trevor?
No?
There's no Little Savage?
There's no Lil Savage?
See, 21 Savage. That's right.
The worst name I've ever heard.
I mean, Prano, again, from just a mental aspect of picturing someone throwing a bottle of liquor out of a bag of groceries into a lake, that's my favorite part. However, Robbie Anderson, you, and I will look into the camera for this, sir, are the Aaron Hernandez Savage of the Year award winner. Feel free to contact us at Dirty Sports.
Robbie, you're required to come pick up your trophy at the Smut Shack in the next 7 days. And if you don't, I'm going to nut in your wife's eye. He's probably not married, right? He's a 24-year-old third receiver for the Jets.
He's actually a pretty talented receiver.
Yeah, he was okay.
I'm saying for the Jets, you know.
Right.
He
had like 600 yards receiving.
Yeah.
Right?
He had some plays.
Yeah.
We really need to get a trophy for this.
Yeah.
What would that trophy be?
I feel like it should be Aaron Hernandez hanging in a cell. It seems,
Man.
Walter Payton has the big jacket on in the award on the side, that big sideline jacket. I think he should just be hanging with the John 3:14 or whatever the fuck he put carved into his forehead.
We need a trophy.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. I'm proud of myself. I made the L chain.
Please don't try to make that trophy. That's a terrible idea.
I
don't want to see you shaping clay.
I made the L chain.
Although if you do, could you videotape you and Trevor doing some doing the scene from Ghost where you're forming the clay and Trevor's behind you just holding onto your arms?
Yeah, that'd be fine. We could get baked and do some sort of claymation. Is that what they call it?
That's not.
Am I just making up words here?
Claymation is like Gumby.
Okay, gotcha.
Claymation is animation done with clay,
Okay.
stop motion and clay.
Did I tell you what, though? Did I tell you about making the L chain? I might have told you this. Now, a lot of people gave me shit, and they didn't realize I purposely picked out a bad yellow because it's the L chain.
Mm-hmm.
I had the gold. But even just painting that and going to Michael's and doing a little arts and crafts, it made me think maybe I should take an art class.
Yeah, and then you tried to clean your screen, and it fell apart. And you were like, maybe I should stop trying to be handy.
Okay, fair
An
enough.
art class. Is that can you roll over your hip hop class credits?
No, but I want to take a dance class. That's the thing, for real.
You already took a dance class.
that wasn't a dance class, Prano. That was like some sort of like old white woman teaching aerobics. I want to
Who
take.
do you think's going to hip hop dance classes?
No, well, Laz's girlfriend is opening a dance studio.
I don't know if Laz would appreciate you referring to her as his girlfriend. But
Okay.
please continue.
Okay, well, whatever. He doesn't listen to the show anyway.
Yeah.
So I talked to her at his last party. She's like, I'm opening up a dance studio. And I was like, oh, I should learn some dance moves, whether it's, hip hop or like salsa or.
Oh, yeah, you should definitely salsa. I mean, you're not wearing a shirt under your V-neck.
That's what I'm saying. like I'm big. 2018, I got to pick up more hobbies because I think I'm an angry person and I think that makes me a better
Safe to
person.
say.
Okay. Well, Joe, you know what would make.
Considering the other day somebody was yelling at you while you're driving, you stepped out, took their glasses off, and stomped on them.
Yeah. Don't forget, I took out their Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah.
Threw it into the ocean. You know what does make me happy is going on SeatGeek to see some tickets. Because there's so many tickets.
Does that give you joy in life?
It does. Because I like to see what concerts are going on, what sports events. You and I are talking about Vegas. Maddie's going for sure. You're still, I think, about 75% in.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, probably, I bet you I'm closer to 80
Okay.
at this point.
Well, I was on SeatGeek the other day, and I want to go to a Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey game in the T-Mobile Arena.
Is that what it's called? T-Mobile Arena?
T-Mobile Arena.
What else do they play at the T-Mobile Arena?
Just hockey.
Wow.
And then concerts.
It's a new arena?
Yeah, but I believe that's where Mayweather fought McGregor. So, it's that brand new arena. It's right off the 15 freeway. It looks beautiful. And if you go on SeatGeek, you guys can go to the game with us, guys. SeatGeek is the best and only place we go to get our tickets. And best of all the listeners, that's you guys, get $20 off their first SeatGeek purchase. Just download the SeatGeek app and enter promo code DIRTY today. That's promo code DIRTY for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Now, we're talking hockey, Prano, and it's long overdue, but I think we got to get Alexis on the phone to do a hockey update.
That sounds great.
She worked the Super Bowl last week, she told me.
I know. She's in Minnesota, so I'm sure she's got lots of Super Bowl stories and lots of stories about the mall.
Yeah. Let's see if we got any Savage Eagles fan stories. So let's get Alexis on the phone. All right, so we are here with Alexis, our hockey correspondent. It's been long overdue, Alexis. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys? It's okay. We've both been busy doing our own thing and making big things happen, so it is what it is, and we're finally on a call again together.
Is hockey still going on? Has playoffs started? Was there a Stanley Cup awarded? What did I miss, Alexis?
We're still a couple months out from that. I know the football scene has kind of taken over the past couple weeks or so, but yeah, we're hanging around. We're still trekking through the NHL season over here.
I think we missed All-Star festivities, though, right? That happened since our last call. Anything exciting with the All-Star game?
2 weeks ago, or last week, 2 weeks ago. The weeks are just a blur to me at this point. So, but yeah, it happened recently.
It was the week before Super Bowl.
Yes, so 2 weeks ago.
And you're in Minnesota. How did the Super Bowl affect you?
Oh boy. Well, I work in downtown Minneapolis at FSN, so like going to work was a mess because roads were closed and there's people walking and the building that I work in, there was some stuff going on in that building, so there was a lot of people. I mean, it wasn't too bad. I mean, the cities are always busy, so I'm used to it being busy, but it was just crazy seeing everything set up for the Super Bowl and just seeing more people than usual, out of towners, all that stuff.
How many Eagles fans called you some sort of swear word on your way to work?
I didn't get called anything, actually. I talked to one Eagles fan who was like telling me how excited he was to be in town. And that was the only Eagles fan I really had a conversation with. It was while I was walking into work. So, I didn't have much contact with people.
Did you see any of them eating animal fecal matter?
Only over the internet, not in person. So,
Can you imagine walking into work and you're like, yeah, there's a guy eating horse shit?
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that. I mean, I saw it on Twitter, a video of it, and it was appalling. But
in all of your time in the Minnesota sports media, have you heard of any fans of any Minnesota teams? Twins, Vikings, Wild? Is anybody eating animal shit in Minnesota that you know of?
Not that I've heard of. Minnesota fans are pretty mellow when it comes to that kind of stuff. Although I think most people would be mellow when it comes to that, except apparently Eagles fans. So
what was that experience like? You got to work the Super Bowl. I see you. Trust me, I keep tabs on you. We might not have had you on the show in a minute, but I see all that thusting that you got going on over there. What was that like? Now, you have any good experiences with maybe any celebrities, any inside scoop that maybe didn't make the news?
So I worked Radio Row. So I was working with a Nashville radio station. So if there's any Nashville dirtballs listening, I was working with 104.5 The Zone. They cover Titans football. So that's who I was with all week. So we were interviewing celebrities and athletes. Basically, my job was to get the interviews. So talking to the handlers of the athletes and asking if they had time for an interview, that kind of stuff. So yeah, we interviewed guys like we interviewed Dan Orlovsky, we interviewed Marcus Mariota.
Wait, Orlovsky? I thought you said celebrities here.
Well,
Shots fired.
He's on the radio now.
I know. I'm just playing.
We interviewed on our last day. We interviewed Busta Rhymes, so that was pretty cool.
Well, you know what? Hold on. This is interesting because I was just alerted to this that Busta Rhymes got really fat. Is he enormous now?
He's pretty big. I thought he was always that size. So, I mean, if you're saying he was skinny at one point, then yeah, he's big now. But I always thought he was big, but I'm not sure. But yeah, he's big.
I don't think Busta Rhymes has his diet all in check.
I was waiting for Prano to hop in on that. So that must have been, was that like a really awesome experience for you, I assume?
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, it was at the Mall of America. So we were basically like, there was, I don't even know how many radio stations just kind of corralled off, and then fans were all around us taking pictures and talking, trying to get the celebrities and athletes' attention. And so I felt like an animal in a zoo, basically, just having all these people staring at you and, wanting to talk to the athletes you're talking to, and you're walking right next to big athletes and celebrities. And it was a pretty interesting and fun experience. I mean, to be a part of something like the Super Bowl is, it's pretty cool. So it was fun.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you had a good experience. I want to talk about this story that I sent you that I saw a couple weeks ago, so we can move into some NHL talk.
Sure.
I saw this story that Alex Ovechkin, because we've discussed at length, right, this phenomenon with the Vegas Golden Knights and how well they're playing, and we've all had our theories about why they're doing well. And Ovechkin recently had some insight into this. And this is what he said, and this is his quote. "I think it's the atmosphere over there. It's not a regular rink. It's kind of like an unbelievable show. You get excited. It's like you in a nightclub. It's like a party. Everybody dancing over there. It's like, holy Jesus, are we in a hockey game or is this like a pool party out there?" They're very, very tough to play against. They jump right in right away. They have tremendous skills and tremendous speed. When you're not ready to play, you're going to be in a tough position. Now, isn't that, if I recall, Prano, isn't that kind of like what you said earlier in the year?
Yeah. And I know nothing about hockey. I just know about Vegas.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting statement for a guy like Ovechkin to say, but it has a lot of truth behind it, because when you think about hockey in general, just as a sport, the whole
which I never do, but please continue.
for a moment. The whole celebrity and glam factor is not really what hockey's about. You know, you think of like that with, you know, sports like basketball, where like a lot of celebrities go to games, especially celebrities, you know, out on the West Coast to games like Golden State, you know, teams like that. You get that celebrity factor. And so the athletes are also kind of used to that because they play in those kind of environments. But then when you put a team in Vegas for hockey, a sport that isn't used to that, it is a whole new experience for these guys who just have never gone through that in their life before. And now at this point in the season, with Vegas still playing incredibly well and still leading the West, I mean, now they have this confidence, you know, backing up this crazy environment that they're playing in. And so they've got two things like that in their favor. And so I can imagine it's probably a tough building to go in and play well against a team who has all this in their favor right now.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it. And like you said, there's still, I'm actually looking at the standing now for the first time probably since we talked a month ago or something. They still have the second best record in the West. And,
yep.
I'm actually, I'm thinking maybe, Joe, that we go, I don't know if we'll have time, if we go to March Madness, which we are, at least I know you're maybe still up in the air, but I would like to see a Golden Knights game.
I mean, it looks fun. The Golden Knights are always tweeting, you know, pictures of celebrities who are there for the games, and the fans are into it. And I mean, for a city, you know, that isn't a hockey city, you know, they're into the game. They're into the team. They want the team to do well. They show up to the game, and there's teams who've been in the league for years who don't have that kind of support. So, I mean, they've got a lot in their favor right now, which is only going to help them as they look to, you know, get into the playoffs and have some kind of a playoff run in their inaugural season.
Who do you like, though? That's the question. That's what you're here for. You're here to make the big predictions.
We like bold predictions. We like hot takes. You know, that's what drives all this. You were on Radio Row. You get it.
Yep. Yeah. In the West or just in general?
Give me two teams from the West that you like and two teams from the East that you like.
Oh, okay. The West, I would say probably the Predators or maybe the Jets. I'm a little cautious with the Jets in the West just because they don't have as good of a playoff history as some other teams do. Neither do the Preds except for last year. But they are looking like they've consistently played well. And consistency is a huge factor, especially once you get into the, you know, final stretch of the season and you're looking to, you know, have something going into the playoffs. You got to have the consistency. So those two teams look good. Vegas is doing great. I don't see them having a playoff run because of the inexperience, the immaturity. A lot of these guys have been in the playoffs before and have been on teams who've had, you know, decent playoff runs. But, as they come together now as a team in Vegas, it's a totally different thing. And so I don't see them making it very far in the playoffs. So I would say Jets and Preds are my favorite picks from the West. In the East, the East. I think the Lightning are going to have a good run. They're leading the East with Stamkos back and everything. They've played consistently well. And then I don't know. I would like to see the Capitals maybe finally do something. They always have a great regular season and just never seem to make anything happen in the playoffs. The Devils were looking like a team who could do something, and they've kind of dropped off. They've lost like 8 or 9 games out of their last like 12 or something. They haven't, don't quote me on that, dirtballs. But they're
regressing to that ass that you thought they would play the whole year.
Yeah, and I don't want to say too soon I was right, but the past month or so they haven't played the greatest. They've fallen out of that top spot in their division. So I don't see them, being a Stanley Cup playoff team.
Look who came up in the East. Pittsburgh. I'm looking at the Penguins.
Yep.
Looks like they're playing well now, huh?
They have played a lot better. The guys who would normally be playing well are finally playing well again. Guys like Malkin and Crosby and all those guys. They actually just had a guy, Hornquist, who got injured. He's, I think, week to week with a lower body injury, which is not looking good for them.
What does that mean? That is his injury? Lower? They're not going to specify. They're just going to say lower body injury?
I think that means dick.
Do they not do that in other sports?
No, football, they'd be like, oh, he has an ACL strain. They wouldn't be like, lower body injury.
Yeah, with hockey, it's 50-50. Sometimes you get like, they have like, a broken foot. And then sometimes it's like, it's a lower body injury or an upper body injury. So he has a lower body injury, which could be anything.
Does nobody
from
have
a
health
groin
insurance in
to
the
a knee to an
NHL?
ankle.
It's like when they only have one MRI available.
There are doctors, that quack doctor from fucking Simpsons. They're all going to that. It's a lower body injury. Well, Alexis, I know it had been a minute, and I know I hate to cut it kind of short, but
No, it's all
We'll
good.
have you back soon, Alexis. Sorry for the
I
long
appreciate
delay.
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
the long delay. It's all Trevor's fault.
Yeah, I'm sure. It sounds like it.
Well, Alexis, I'm glad that you had a good week at the Super Bowl, and I'm
Yeah.
more glad that you made it out alive with those savage Eagles fans. And
Hey, don't speak too soon. There might be still some lingering. Who knows?
that's right. Well, you keep doing your thing, and we'll talk soon.
Sure, absolutely. See you later, guys.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Always good to hear from Alexis.
Very nice to hear from her. Yes, Andy.
I'm glad she made it out alive.
Well, she didn't make it out. She's still there. So, but she is alive.
Yeah.
So she's got that going for her. They left, and she's still alive.
When is the parade for the Eagles fans?
Who gives a fuck? I don't care.
On a happier note, let's talk about Kristaps Porzingis.
I mean, this injury, I'm not even joking. This injury doubled down with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just proof that, like, don't believe in fucking karma or God or anything. Good things don't happen to good people and bad things don't happen to bad people. The worst people ever are celebrating. And Kristaps Porzingis, who's been nothing but a fantastic person, is now fucking in a hospital bed somewhere with a torn ACL. Meanwhile, the fucking worst people alive are eating shit off the street in celebration.
I like how you made this all about yourself. Because of that, karma doesn't exist. It sucks, dude. It sucks for basketball, I agree, and I guess I am shocker. I'm very ignorant when it comes to injuries. So I was like, oh, torn ACL, like, he'll be back. But then I didn't realize, like, I knew he'd be gone this season, but I didn't realize this is at least a year, probably.
No, I don't think
No?
so. No.
Well, I was looking at Jabari Parker, and
Yeah.
I was looking at, who's the other guy who tore his ACL recently? Basketball player. Who's the other big one? I was comparing it to two different guys. Parker took 52, 53 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly can go wrong, but it happening right now. I mean, I was watching Inside the NBA last night. Shaq was saying surgery now, playoff time, he's in rehab. Summer for everybody else, he's starting to play basketball again. And will he be ready to go next year to start the season? I think that's something that's up in the air as.
But as a Knicks guy, you don't want to rush.
No. That's what I'm saying. I don't
franchise guy back.
Of course, I don't. But I don't think it's a matter of he's not playing. We don't want him to play next year.
But it delays everything because is next year the last year of his deal, or is it this year?
Next year.
So it's next year.
I believe they have an option as you tend to with the rookies.
But does that mean that, like, the Knicks are going to go after free agents still? Doesn't it affect the future for the next couple years?
I don't think so, because in the end they have Enes Kanter, who will probably pick up his option for next year. They have Joakim Noah, who's being paid for fucking 2 more years, which they can move him as an expiring next year. They could stretch him. I mean, the Joakim Noah deal is a goddamn disaster, but there's
been a lot of drama with him, right?
Yeah. He's not even there anymore. He just was like, I'm gone, I'm out, and fuck Joakim Noah.
So yeah, because I'll be honest, I haven't followed it closely enough. What do you mean he's not even there?
He's just like, basically he was being such a piece of shit that they were like, fuck you, and then he was like, no, fuck you, and then he just left the team.
Is he getting paid?
Yeah.
How?
Because
how can you get paid if you're not a part of the team?
I'm sure
Is that collective bargaining agreement shit?
Probably, yeah. I mean, Derrick Rose did it. So
true.
And then they just traded Willie Hernangomez, which Knicks fans for some reason are losing their mind over. He played well as a rookie, but people have to keep in mind empty stats. Like empty stats, like, oh, he had 15 rebounds a game last year. It's like, dude, because the Knicks just kept fucking missing shots and were getting killed. They were terrible. It's like, God, if I play with Carmelo Anthony, I could grab 15 boards a game. Some of them are just going to fucking land on you. Like, people are upset. We got 2 second-rounders back for that. I think the one thing is about this, if there is a silver lining, and there isn't, I'm devastated. But if you were going to talk yourself into one, it's that they probably could have made some sort of move and contended for a playoff spot this year. And then they lose a first-round matchup to the Celtics. How does that help you? Now, if the move...
Is it tank mode now?
Well, yeah.
For sure, right?
Obviously, it's tank mode. But, I mean, LeBron James just said he's not waiving his no-trade clause. If the move that you make, is something crazy, they get LeBron James right now, and he gets them the 8 seed, and then they have a Knicks-Celtics 8-1 matchup, and you have LeBron James. Sure, but obviously that's not a realistic world we live in. So, do I want to just be the 8 seed? Yeah, I would love Kristaps Porzingis to have gotten playoff experience, but now that he's gone, just start the tank. Absolutely start the tank.
Yeah. Well, they have to.
Yeah.
Just tank mode.
And I'd rather have him gotten playoff experience. I'd rather them have started to build, a winning, mentality as a franchise. But when that's off the table, and it essentially is, don't fire sale. Don't make any moves. Give me the best possible draft pick I can get. Which probably sets us up better for the long term anyway.
I wonder what the rules are on. I know they're trying to change the tanking thing, but like, what would stop this? This might sound really stupid, but I'm gonna say it. I gotta look at Trevor before I say it. What would stop the Knicks from being like, okay, 6 Jewish guys from fucking Brooklyn are going to be starting next game?
Well, what would stop them from doing that is if you believe Kristaps Porzingis comes back and you can make a splash in free agency and you can get a draft pick. Now, guys like
because they legally do that.
I'm saying the reason that you stop is because, first of all, guys are on contract, so you can't just like cut like a bunch of dudes to make room for 6 Jewish guys that you're randomly talking about. But what would stop you from playing?
I was picturing Goldberg.
Yeah. What would stop you from playing your worst 5 players all the time? And that is, the Frank Ntilikina's and the young guys on the team that you're going to need to be good if you ever plan to contend now need to get minutes. Like, move Jarrett Jack immediately. Jarrett Jack's been great for the Knicks, but you move him immediately and you give Frank all his minutes and you let him start and you get him experience and you get some sort of value for Jarrett Jack and, you play the long game.
Yeah. You watching that OKC game last night?
I don't think